Hello everyone, and welcome into another episode of Matt Sports Talk, where in this video I'm going to be talking about the games, or my women's bracket, and the games that I got correct in the first round action. Of course, I'll be doing an update of this on Monday after all the second round games are completed, and also on Monday I'll be doing a recap video for both the men and the women's second round games, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. That's all going to be coming your way on Monday. So, and that will be at my normal recording location back home in Mount Vernon, Ohio. As if you can't tell based on the background in this video, this is the very first edition of Matt Sports Talk on the road, as I am in central Indiana, near Indiana Wesleyan University, supporting them in their opening round games. Of course, they won last night against Philander Smith. Hopefully they win tonight against Grandview and punch their ticket to Sioux City, Iowa, for potentially, if they do win tonight, their 8th straight appearance to Iowa under head coach Ethan Whaley. So looking at all the games that I got right yesterday and all the matchups, I did get Campbellsville correct over Lourdes. I got Williams Baptist, which was a 9 seed, correct over 8-seeded Mobile out of Alabama. Campbellsville, of course, a 1 seed. And I got 4-seeded Dakota State correct, so they advanced to the second round. I got 5th-seeded Governor State out of Illinois correct. And I got, of course, 3-seeded Briarcliff correct as well in their opening round matchup. And of course, this was the first one I missed. I had Columbia out of Missouri with the mild upset over Lewis Clark State out of Idaho. Lewis Clark State is a 6 seed, and Lewis Clark State did get the win yesterday. And then, of course, this was a kind of a big shock. 15 seed Kansas Wesleyan beat 2-seeded Mid-America Nazarene. I had Mid-America Nazarene going to the Sweet 16 and then losing to Briarcliff. So obviously I got those two games wrong, which still isn't bad. And I had Northwestern out of Iowa with a mild upset over Mid-America Christian out of Oklahoma. That did not happen. Mid-America Christian won. So you have a 2 seed, or you have a 7 seed and a 15 seed meeting in the second round matchup there. So those I got wrong. Iowa, Indiana Wesleyan, I got that right, obviously. And I had Olivet Nazarene over Grandview, and Grandview with the win last night. That was the 8-9 matchup. The 4-13 matchup, and this is the Liston quadrant, by the way. The Dewar quadrant was the quadrant that I just mentioned above. And in the Liston quadrant, I did get Georgetown correct over Jamestown. Georgetown was a 4 seed. I had 5-seed Providence over 12-seed College of Idaho, and it was College of Idaho with a big upset there, so that one I missed. And then, obviously, I had 3-seed St. Francis over 14 Indiana Tech. That did not happen. And I also had 6-seed Rio over 11-seeded Stillman out of Alabama. That did not happen. So in the Fort Wayne bracket, you have an 11 and a 14 seed playing each other in the second round, and either an 11 or a 14 going to Sioux City, Iowa. So that's obviously a big shock. Of course, in terms of talent level, I mean, it might not be, but in terms of seeding, it definitely is. And then I had 2-seeded Freed Hardman. They won yesterday, and I had 7-seed Florida Memorial over 10-seed IU Northwest, and I got that correct with Florida Memorial. So so everybody on the right side of the bracket, let me count real quick how many I got right on the right side of the bracket. 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 I got correct on the right side of the bracket. Actually, let me recount that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, okay, 8. I stand corrected. 8. I got 8 games correct in the first round on the right side of the bracket yesterday. And then looking at the left side of the bracket in the Naismith quadrant, I got Dort correct over Haskell. St. Francis Rocky Mountain, that was the 8-9. I got St. Francis correct. And 4-13 Langston Blue Mountain Christian, they played today due to weather problems yesterday, so we're waiting on those games to be completed. And Dakota Wesleyan and the Masters, the 5-12. I have Dakota Wesleyan in the Sweet 16. That's another game that got postponed due to weather, so they'll be playing the first round games there today and the second round games there tomorrow. At least I would imagine that would be the case. And then, of course, I got Marion correct over St. Xavier. That was the 3-14. I had 6 Oregon Tech, but Milligan out of Tennessee won. So that game I got wrong. So you have a 3-11 meeting in the second round. Cumberland's over Eastern Oregon. Cumberland's was the 2-15 matchup. I got Cumberland's correct. And then I had Loyola with the mild upset as a 10 seed over 7 seed Shawnee State. Shawnee State ended up winning. So, and then down here in the Kramer quadrant, Bethel of Tennessee, the 1 seed, I got that correct. They won the 8-9. I had LSU Alexandria over Benedictine out of Kansas. Benedictine was the winner there. I had Hastings over College of the Ozarks, and it was Hastings with the win yesterday. And I had Shreveport over Huntington. Now, Shreveport and Huntington, I will point out very quickly, I mentioned in my video last week that even though I picked LSU Shreveport, I mentioned last week that I was not going to be surprised if Huntington pulled off the big upset, and that was exactly the case. And I mentioned that for Huntington, you know, that was the game where an upset could happen because of Huntington's talent level, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. So I'm not really surprised with that result of Huntington winning, but I did not expect that to happen. And then 3-14, William Carey, Lindsey Wilson. William Carey won, so I got that correct. I had 6 seed Xavier over 11 seed Southeastern. Xavier won, so I got that correct. 2-15, Southern Oregon, UC Merced. I had Southern Oregon. Southern Oregon won by 34, I believe. And then I had Wayland Baptist, the 7 over 10 seeded Carroll, and Wayland Baptist, excuse me, was the winner there. So, excuse me, on the right side of the bracket, at least so far, again, we're waiting on 2 other teams on the left side of the bracket to complete their opening round matchups. So far, on the left side of the bracket, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 10 correct on the left side of the bracket and 8 correct on the, at least I think, on the right side of the bracket. So based on where we are now, if I wrote correctly, and again, at least I hope this is correct, 19 out of 30 that I've gotten so far, because we're still waiting on 2 other teams to play, Dakota Wesleyan and Langston. And in those matchups, I have both Dakota Wesleyan and Langston. So that's an updated view of my bracket on my women's bracket. And again, I apologize for not showing that in this video. But when I record another update on Monday, again, once we get Dakota Wesleyan and Langston games completed and the rest of the second round games completed, I'll be updating my bracket on Monday. And I will definitely show my updated bracket on Monday. But I hope that today that this was super, super helpful to you, even though I did not show my bracket in this video. But I went over it with you and talked about where all the teams were in terms of seeding. So I hope that was helpful. And if you did enjoy this video, please either like, comment, or subscribe. Any one of those options helps me out greatly. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and God bless.